Hey, so last week I almost finished building the microphone locker here in this big studio we're building in this old Swedish cow barn. On Monday I started putting LEDs in the bottom cupboards, but then I ran out of LEDs. I think they're arriving today, so I can probably finish this. But in the meantime, I thought I'd get on with building the next cupboard for the control room. Right here, in fact, is the cupboard. Basically, exactly the same as I did the other one. The little oak pieces from that piece of oak we found in the garden. A door made from the ash tree that fell down in the garden. Recycled plywood. Yeah, pretty good. Green door. So I thought what I would do today is I'm going to stain this up. I'm going to colour this wood so it kind of ties in with everything else. And then I will put the LEDs in and I'll show you how I do that. I'll finish off the microphone cupboard LEDs and I'll put LEDs in this, and then I will install this in the control room. Also, as promised, I will go through the mic locker this video and I'll show you my mic collection. So watch to the end if you want to see that. Okay, there's loads to do. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get on with it. Well, this still needs oiling. It looks a little bit strange at the moment, but once the oil is on, it'll be nice. So my plan is to have LED strip under here, which will be shining down onto each rack on either side, and then inside here, the same as in the mic cupboard, I'll have LEDs down the sides on both sides. This drawer, by the way, I will eventually paint this some kind of funky colour, I think. But yeah, alright, I'm going to start with the LEDs, get my soldering iron, or maybe I'll move it into position first. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Alright. So for those of you who don't know, this is LED strip, which is absolutely one of my favourite things in the world. It's just so versatile. It is basically a whole load of LEDs on a plastic ribbon which is sticky on the back, and you can just hide it anywhere and you'll get light as a result. This is a driver which you need to convert the 240 volts coming out of the wall into the 12 volts for this, and you can get 5 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt, you can get lots of different versions. This is 12 volt, and maybe you can see on here it's outputting 12 volts, 5 amps, 60 watts, so I can power quite a lot of LED strip with this. I think this draws maybe 1.5 amps per 5 meters. So with this driver here, I should be able to power this whole cupboard and the synth shelves above it, which I am still planning. So yeah, it's very simple. You just run cable from the driver to the strip. I like to use a bit of super glue to help the adhesive, because sometimes in the past it kind of fails at some point and then it falls off, so I just help it with a little bit of super glue. So my plan is I'm going to put the driver in here somewhere, and then I'm going to run cable to here where I'm going to have a strip coming along the front. I'll drill a hole through here into the cupboard where I will come down here and then LED strip down this doorstop thing through the bottom here, underneath, back up inside, up this side as well, through there, and then out to here where it goes underneath again. At certain points along the LED strip you can cut the strip, and there are these little solder pads there, and that's where you solder onto. This is just white, by the way. You can get RGB LED strip which has 4 solder pads, but I'm kind of happy just with these being white. Alright, let's get soldering. So another thing that I like to do is I like to connect the power at the beginning, basically, so that when I add a section of LED strip I can test it each time just to make sure that it's working. Okay, this is going to look a lot better when it's oiled. So each time you add another section, just test it, because then you'll know. In the end, basically, if it all doesn't work, then you have to go and test each section, and it's a pain in the arse. But yeah, at least this way you can stay on top of it. I just thought, I mean, it looks cool like that, but I thought maybe we have these offcuts. Well, that's an offcut of the green stuff, but we also have some polycarbonate offcuts from the greenhouse, which Ferdy has been finishing this week. And I kind of like this very much. This just looks really cool to me. So I'm going to do this, I think. I'm going to put polycarbonate in. And yeah, I'm going to figure out a way of keeping it in there. I think just like a little strip of wood at the bottom, just to keep it pushed upwards, will do it. Yeah, this is really cool. Right, okay, I've been experimenting here because I really love the way this looks. Not sure if this is coming out on camera. I love the way it looks, but I don't like that the background is so kind of grey. So then I started thinking, what if I put some fabric behind, and I have this. Is that coming out on camera? It's kind of like black velvet with spangly stripes in. Like, this is all stuff that I've bought over the years where I just sort of came across it and thought, wow, one day I will use you. Very hard to film this. Okay, yeah, it's kind of spangly dark stuff, which kind of looks cool, but in a way I don't like the lines. I tried it basically behind this. I tried it and I didn't like the lines. I suppose I could do it that way. Maybe that would work. But then I found this other stuff, which is like stretchy, green, spangly stuff, which is very spangly on one side. But if I flip it round, I think, is that coming out on camera? I think basically it's just the right amount of texture in there. It makes it darker. That's without anything. It makes it darker, but it also adds this little detail of kind of mad green sparkliness in there, which I just think is fucking cool. So I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna use double-sided tape. I can't think of what else to use off the top of my head. It's very, very stretchy, this stuff. So I think double-sided tape should hold it. Yeah, pretty happy with where this is going. I do love experimenting. Okay, I'll put this in. Very cool. Ha. Wow, it reminds me of going to the cinema as a kid for some reason. I wish I'd put that in the center. Oh well, okay, the next one I'll measure it. Hey, it's Friday. I woke up this morning with a bastard cold, so today I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to do anything. But I haven't forgotten my promise to show you my microphone collection. So yeah, here goes. Okay, so starting at the top, there's a couple of M88s, very good for bass, cabs, kick drums, that sort of thing. I have actually, I don't know where the other one is, I have 3 of these, which are really cool. This is like the Woodstock mic. These are SM545s, I think, 565s, like the precursor to the SM58. I just like them because they look cool and they sound kind of like SM58s. And I got 3 of these in Germany. They used to be really cheap, secondhand in Germany. A couple of 421s, you know about those. What's in here? Ah, there's the other 565. Okay, a vintage D12, which when I got it, it actually didn't work properly. I recorded with it for ages, and I was always thinking, man, this doesn't sound quite as good as I've been told it should do. And then I realized that the capsule needed a bit of work, and so I actually retensioned the capsule myself, which was a bit scary, but basically you can actually play a sine wave through the mic. The mic becomes a little speaker, and you can sweep up and down the frequency spectrum, and you can hear little buzzes where it's basically not resonating properly at that frequency, and then you just tweak the tension on the capsule, and eventually you get it sweeping very nicely up and down through the full frequency spectrum. I don't know if I would recommend everyone try it, but if you do have a D12 and it's not working properly, then Google how to do that, because it worked for me. Okay, next is a nice old Electro Voice RE20, which again, yeah, it's an old one, but again, when I got it, pretty quickly I realized it wasn't really working so good, and especially when somebody else came to my studio with an old RE20 and we compared them, I could tell straight away it wasn't working right. And so after a bit of research, I found out that you often need to replace the foam inside these. They're kind of packed with foam. There's this kind of sleeve inside, and mine had just deteriorated into kind of weird dust. And so I ordered a new set of foam, I think maybe from Canford Audio, maybe that's right, in England, and I re-foamed it, and then it suddenly came to life. So yeah, that's another tip. Next to that, this is the 545. This is the sister microphone of these guys. It's really one of my favourite vocal mics. Apparently it was Brian Wilson's favourite as well. It's a super cool little kind of shotgun version. Very much love that. Okay, a pair of Coles 4038s. I'm sure everyone knows what they are. Yeah, great. Great for drums, all kinds of things. Very dark sounding, but very just very vibey and fat sounding. I also have a Coles 4040 underneath those, which is actually really, really similar sounding, but it just looks a little more kind of space age. So that's also very nice. Next to that, I have 3 of these Bayer 260s. I have 2 kind of modern ones and 1 vintage one. Amazing mics. They don't make them anymore for some reason. They make a 160, which is a double ribbon version. These just have single ribbons, but these are, well, they used to be my absolute go-to for drum overheads. They just sound really natural and not super dark. They're not as dark as Coles, but yeah, just really great sort of, yeah, great mics. Next, I have a pair of Royer 121s, another classic, kind of modern classic. More ribbons. I do like ribbon mics. These guys, these are basically old versions of what ended up becoming the MD21. They're actually Omni dynamic mics. I never really understood how they could be Omni, seeing as they're in a closed body like that. But they are amazing sounding mics, just for their kind of appearance and everything. You wouldn't think it, but they really do sound so good. Great on vocals. I've even recorded acoustic guitars with these. They're just really cool. Next, SM7B. Everyone knows what that is. Okay, so over here, another one of my absolute favourites is my telephone. I just took an old telephone receiver, wired it up to 2 XLRs, one for the microphone and one for the speaker, because they both work as microphones. Yeah, great, not only for vocals, for a telephone effect, but also really cool on like snare drums, like underneath the snare, stuff like that. Yeah, just a good, interesting character mic. Up here, I think this is a pair of old Octava 319s. It's hard to do all this with one hand, but yeah, these are old Russian mics, which I guess I bought about 20 years ago, and I never use them anymore. I don't think they sound very good, but you never know. I might drag them out one day. I also have this, I think it's a hypercardioid condenser. I never really use it. SE300B. I've had it for years and years. Yeah, I don't really use it very much. Okay, in this box I have some extremely posh Schoeps small diaphragm condensers, which are sweepable between Omni and cardioid, and they sound very, very posh and expensive. Yeah, pretty snazzy. In this box I have my little Josephson, are they C42s? Is that what they're called? I'm not very good with this kind of thing. C42s. Again, just really cool, versatile, really good on bass cabs, but yeah, just great detailed little guys. Love those. And I like the box too. It's very funky. I think you could drop this in the sea and it wouldn't damage the mics. So then I have a bunch of Neumann Geffel, like East German Neumann mics. Now, I've got to try and remember which ones these are. This is the, I think it's an M71 capsule, is it? M71 capsule. I have two of these. These are cardioid. Apparently it's the same capsule as in like vintage U47s, but way cheaper. Obviously they're not tube mics, but it sounds really, really good. I have two of those. My friend has an original 50s U47, and we did compare them once, and it was so close, like close enough that it didn't really matter. So yeah, they're getting more expensive. But yeah, I have two of those. And I have two of these MV691s with Omni capsules, because I do love an Omni mic. These are also old Neumann Geffel guys, so I have two of those. And then I have two of these, which are the M582, I believe, which are tube small diaphragm condensers, which are, according to internet lore, they are the kind of East German version of a sort of KM54 type thing. Again, really cool mics. Yeah, so I've got two of those. I don't have real Neumanns, I have East German Neumanns. This is an interesting thing that my friend Jeff from Rerun Electronics gave me once. It's an Omni kind of wooden sphere mic, which is cool. And then I have three 414s. I have an old BULS, and then I have a pair of newer XL2s. Yeah, I think, is that it? That's pretty much it. Oh no, I have somewhere, I don't know where they are. Ah, they're in there. I have 6 of these M201s, which I have instead of 57s, which are my kind of workhorse, like small diaphragm, dynamic mics. Yeah, so there you go. Sorry about all the sniffing, but yeah, I'm going to take it easy over the weekend, and yeah, I will see you next time for another video. Yeah, I was also kind of thinking, getting a little bit stressed out about the synth shelf, because I'm still figuring it out, and I don't really want to start it until I have a proper plan. But I'm very happy with how the lights look on the rack stuff. I'm very excited about continuing in the control room, getting all the lighting right in here, because it really is the most important thing. Okay, lots of love. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching to the end, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.